Good morning, everyone. Here is Giridhar, and you are listening to the podcast Giridhar's Garady. A grand welcome to you all for today's episode. Just to re-emphasize, in this second season, along with this host, you witness some of the amazing guests who would be inspiring you or sharing their knowledge with you on various subjects. So, this season is all about our guests' experiences, stories, ideas, and opinions on different aspects. So, on every Saturday, tune into some of the creamy, spicy, juicy conversations with some fun and lots of learning. On this note, let's begin our today's episode. We have someone today along with me who is intelligent in his actions, dynamic in his personality, and creative in his art. A software engineer by profession, but an artist, writer, reviewer, toastmaster, and above all, a true movie lover. In short, a movie buff by person. On this note, here's welcoming the guest for today's episode, Siddharth. In fact, striking Siddharth. Hi Siddharth, welcome to Giridhar's Gardy. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much, Giridhar. Yeah, I'm all right. It's weekend, and what better way to start this weekend? I'm on the show. So, yeah, I'm all set to be swooned over by your Gardy.
Thank you. Well, just one question before we go into the actual episode. How do you feel like being a guest on this podcast?
I mean, it feels so good, dude. After postponing it for a long time, we're finally here. And I still remember you posting pictures of all the ribbons and certificates from Toastmasters the day you quit it. I remember you telling me that you'll be starting something like you'll be coming up with an idea of podcasting. And I've gone through some of your videos, and trust me, you're doing really great. And recently, I've tuned into one of your episodes where one of your guests spoke about how to tackle depression and all. It was so informative, and I really liked it a lot. Glad that you're picking something like that because in the time and age that we are living in, we are always in some kind of a race, and uh, when you and always looking for instant gratification. And when you aim for something, I mean, when you don't get it, there's a psychological discomfort or disturbance that one feels, which, when not addressed properly, might lead to something kind of depression. So, cheers to you, and also to Shweta, right? The one who spoke
It's
about this,
Swati. It's
Swati.
Swati.
Bravo. I mean, and trust me, the best part about this whole thing is that it's been almost 1 year since you started this, and you must have done about 50 odd episodes now.
Yeah,
So
57th running today.
awesome. So kudos to you on your consistency, buddy. I know it's not easy. So I'm glad that you're consistent in what you're doing. So good to see that.
Wow, thank you so much, Siddharth. Thank you so much for following and also admiring the progress in my podcast. And I'm really glad that you listened and liked one of the episodes about depression. Thank you so much for that. And I'm very happy to be with you today on this podcast.
I'm also looking forward for Sainath's interview that's yet to be posted,
Yes,
right?
it will be released today. Yeah, it will be released today shortly. The post-production work is still in progress, but yes, it will be released today, definitely by end of the day.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, let's move into our concept for today. How did you find your passion for movies?
uh, Passion for movies, dude. I grew up watching a dose of films. Movies are like a very ordinary, everyday household, homey kind of an affair for me. My mom's side of family, they're very lively. They're full of beans, always meeting and hanging out, and most of them are itchy about movies. Especially my uncle, my mom's brother, is a big movie buff. So having grown up in such kind of circumstance, all my friends, be it from school, college, junior college, or even after I started working, we've shared some interests, and one of which is movies. So So it was never really a task for me to get a company to go and watch a movie. So it was that easy and accessible, and I was never really restricted also. So I think it all started there, and that's how movies kind of crept into my life.
Nice, nice to hear that. So now that you told that you have been with the movies and the cinema over a certain period of time, like over the years, tell me, in what way you think that the Indian cinema has evolved over the years?
Indian cinema now, it's almost been 100 years for Indian cinema now. And if I have to summarize it in one sentence, it's the journey of Indian cinema is the journey from the movie called Raja Harishchandra, which is the first Indian movie to be made, to uh, to this movie called Bahubali, which is not the latest movie, but the most talked about Indian movie till date, even after 4 years of its release. Right, from silent films to talkie, from black and white to color, from 35 to 70 from screening movies with the help of reels to the current age digital cube technology, from sync sound to dubbing theaters and back again to the sync sound, from using still cameras to usage of drone cameras to usage of VFX, computer graphics, which seems just natural and real. I think we've come a long way. Indian Indian cinema has been very progressive, no matter what, and was never, I think, on a back foot. So I think part of the credit should be given to the technological advancements. Technology has definitely done amazing things to this field, but I also think that it is this filmmakers' courage and their audacity to try out different things, to constantly experiment time and again. That I think that needs to be lauded too, because they pump in a lot of money trying out of new things just to give us a visual treat, just to give the audience a visual treat. So along with the advancement in technology, our filmmakers' progressive and reformist attitude to not just be stuck in the rut and try out new different things. I think it's only because of that we come this far. And if movies like Lagan, Bahubali, Dangal, or Three Idiots have put the Indian movies on the world map, I think the inception of OTT has also brought us more audience in the last 4, 5, 6 years, if I have to say. And I'll tell you a small incident. I've recently, a couple of weeks back, went to an eatery in Mexico City, and there were not enough chairs, so I and my friends, we were sharing was talking about Indian movies. We had a small talk, and then we started talking about movies. And he asked me if I've watched an Indian movie called The Lion, which is Dev Patel's, the lead actor in Slumdog Millionaire. He was also actor in this movie called Lion. I told that I haven't watched that movie. It's not a movie that is made by Indian filmmakers. It's after when I read it on Google, I came to know that it's an Australian production company which made this film. But this movie was completely shot in India and some parts in Australia. So I think if people in a country like Mexico, where the language is not also English, if they are talking about Indian movies, I think I leave it to your imagination how far Indian cinema has evolved.
Wow, I must say you have a profound knowledge on all the films and I mean about the Indian cinema. So that I can say now it's been in fact proved that you are truly a movie buff. And good to know that even in Mexico people are talking about the Indian cinema.
Yeah, it feels so good when you bump into a Mexican and just think what are the odds of him speaking about Indian movies to you. I mean, it's like I told you with the inception of OTT, and this has been possible only because of that.
Yes, correct. So now that you were talking about the filmmakers in one of our conversations so far, let me put my next question in this way. Who do you think play a vital role in the success of a film, the actor or the director, and how?
I think it's a story, man. I think it's the story which matters the most, whether it is the director's story or the writer's story, uh, whoever it is, the story is the bedrock of any successful movie. So you have the best of the actors or directors with a very ordinary, but with a very ordinary or a bland story and poor screenplay, it just doesn't really work, right? But coming to your question, actor or director, definitely the director, because he is the captain of the ship. He is someone who has the control of over the all the creative aspects of the film. So he's someone who guides the artists and or the rest of the technical crew on what should be done, what needs to be done in order to bring out what was envisioned for the film in the first place. I think, and the rest of the departments, be it music, editing, camera work, or production design, or whatever, they are all just embellishments to a story, which is the whole and soul of any movie.
Yes, that's right. Content is the king, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So now that we have heard from you about the general aspects of movies, now I just want to pick up your choice. So name any of your three favorite movies and let us know why do you like them.
three three favorite movies. I I really can't think of any. It's a vast repository of movies that I watched.
So maybe any random movie that you can talk about which has really affected you, maybe positively, negatively, or anything as such. It has created some impact in you.
So I think I mean I've watched a lot of movies repeatedly, but I also cannot think of any specific genre because I watch all sorts of movies. But I think I enjoy buddy films more. You know, films like Three Idiots, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, and Bangalore Days from Malayalam is one heck of a movie. Rock On is another film. And I very recently, just a couple of days, watched this movie called Kai Poche and I loved it. So these are all very feel good movies, refreshing and relatable content, and they're also inspiring as well in some or the other way. They make you feel nostalgic, and I think all these movies have gladly glorified friendship, this bond called friendship. They celebrated friendship through these beautiful stories. So yeah, I think these kind of movies have always won my heart. In Nagaran Kema in Telugu is also one brilliant movie. Uh, Again, Rang De Basanti is something which tops the list. But I think, but apart from these, uh, if 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 I have to think of any one movie which has impacted me the most, I think there's a movie called Aruvi. It's a Tamil movie which I watched during the lockdown, and it's about a young woman who's expelled from her house because her family thinks that she's done something wrong, something kind of a taboo. And now that she's disowned by her family and friends, she starts living on her own. She falls into an existential crisis, and what follows is something you guys have to watch it on your own. What follows something is really very terrific. Why she's moved out of the house and what happens later is something to be watched out for. This is a very emotional movie. It has some really hard hitting emotions, and by the end of the movie, it definitely leaves you teary eyed. If you get some time, you have to watch this movie. It's Arui again, a Tamil movie. I think it's streaming on Amazon Prime.
Oh, amazing. Even I didn't watch that film, definitely. It seems I have to watch it.
Yeah, see, that's the beauty of OTT, right? I've watched a lot of Malayalam, Tamil, and movies from other languages because of OTT platforms.
Oh, okay. But really, I admire you that you are watching the movies irrespective of the language. So there's no barrier as such.
Yeah, I think the barriers have been blurred, man. I think every movie that is, even in Telugu, every movie that is being made now, uh, every movie they are dubbing into other languages and they're calling it pan India movies and all that stuff. So I think the barriers have been blurred now. I think we should stop calling it a Hindi movie or a Telugu movie or a Tamil movie. They're all Indian movies now because people started watching movies from India and other countries too.
Yes, correct. It's the best way of reaching to a greater number of audience.
Right, right.
Okay, all right. Now let's talk about your journey of writing reviews for the films. So can you share something about your journey?
So, like I told you, my mom's family is something they're very much into movies. While on the other hand, my dad's side relatives they are more into reading. They're very docile. They're more into reading and writing. So, reading habit is something that I've inculcated from my dad's side, and very soon I realized that I've had a flair for writing as well. So during my engineering days, I started writing a blog, on random topics. I used to pick some random topics and write. So to I think now to balance both the sides of the family, I'm watching movies and writing reviews. But writing reviews is something that happened very accidentally. I remember my first review was on this movie called Spider, Mahesh Babu's and A.R. Murugadas movie. I'm sorry. So I watched this movie on the second or third day of its release, and I remember by then it was declared a colossal flop. So I went into the theater with zero expectations, and I started looking at the movie. And maybe because I went into the theater with zero expectations, I came with this opinion that this is an average flick, and I started analyzing what might have gone wrong in this movie, and how expectations and hype have uh, took this movie the other way, and how this AR Murugadas Tamil nativity didn't really go well with our Telugu audience. So I wrote a post about this, and there's a cousin of mine who's a big fan of Mahesh. So I sent it to him on WhatsApp, and he read it, and he told me that no, yeah, Sidhu, this is I being a Mahesh fan, I'm telling you that this is how these reviewers write. Don't get into this one. So I thought if this guy is thinking that this post is from a professional reviewer, then I thought I can start reviewing movies. I think so. It all started like that.
Oh, awesome, Siddharth. Because I raised this question, the reason is because I read some 2 or 3 reviews from your FB posts earlier. And I must say, you are really a professional writer. So I have actually seen a Indian cinema writer who is writing reviews for the films. So you are no less than them, no doubt in that.
No, not really. When I say that I write reviews, I just put out my opinion, which I feel at that point of time after watching the movie. I just write what went well with me, what worked for me, what didn't. That's all I do. But the real film critic, the movie critic is someone who analyzes movie from every nook and corner. They talk about how a scene has been staged, how a lighting is set, how a camera has been panned. So they dwell a lot on technical aspects, which I'm not really aware of. They draw analogies with the director's previous work and stuff like that. I think I'm not still there, at least not till now.
Okay, but still, at least I feel that you are really no less than a movie writer, because, yeah, like you said, I couldn't find those technical aspects in your reviews. But still, from the story point of view, from a direction point of view, from the music point of view, I could see so many aspects that made your movie reviews really some great thing, great work.
Thank you. I'm glad at least someone is feeling like
Okay. So now let's move on to a quite different topic, maybe little controversial as well. So here's my next question to you. What's your say on the famous hashtag #MeToo movement? And do you think it exists everywhere in the movie industry?
everywhere in the movie industry or everywhere other than the movie industry.
Yeah, maybe in the movie industry as well as in other industries. So what's your say on this?
So Me Too movement. You know, what is Me Too movement? I mean, people are being exploited, right? And
Yeah.
where doesn't exploitation happen? It's everywhere, right? Laborers get exploited every day physically by the masters, and we white-collared employees are being exploited mentally by our higher management. And in the movie industry, they are being exploited by being asked for sexual favors. And I'm glad that people have come out and boldly expressed their concerns with this movement, because from Donald Trump to Bill Gates, everyone has been accused of this. So it's everywhere. And
Yes.
maybe because they started this and people are coming out and talking about this, there's a sense of fear that's instilled in them now. But I think there are still a lot of victims who are keeping quiet about it, who are mum about it, their lips sealed, right? But we
Yeah.
both can sit here and talk that we both can say that they should come out and they shouldn't hide anymore. They should come out and speak. But we never know what kind of circumstances are leading them to do these kind of things. You know, they might be in dire need of money. They might be in dire need of some other offer, because they might be the only breadwinner in the family. They have to take care of the kith and kin of the family. So there can be many reasons. So we just can't blame them also. But I think the root cause to all this comes from when an individual thinks that he is superior, and another individual is inferior to him. If they think like that, that's where I think the root cause is, because when someone thinks that they have the money and power, so they can ask for anything they wish, that's not at all right. I feel that irrespective of who you are and what you are, respecting an individual is important. And not just women, respecting an individual is very, very important. You have to respect for what that person is and pay them their dues. Nothing more, nothing less. So if that is there and everyone practices it, I think this world will be a beautiful place to live in. Yeah.
Correct. Well said, Siddharth. So, okay, here's my next question to you. According to you, what is the role of music in a movie?
Music plays a very integral part of a movie, of any scene, to be specific. I will not talk about the songs which come in between, because be it Bollywood or Tollywood, we have songs coming in as huge speed breakers to the proceedings of the film. So we are used to seeing songs that really don't make sense, but are planted there because most of the filmmakers are still following that quintessential typical formula of having at least six songs in a movie. I'm glad that it's slowly changing. But I'll talk about the background music, because the background music for any scene defines the mood of that scene. It sets the tone, it sets the grammar of that particular scene. because not everything in a movie is expressed in the form of words or dialogue. So BGM plays a very important role in setting up the mood or the rhythm of that particular scene. We often hear people saying that I watched that scene and after watching it I've had goosebumps and all. Watch the same scene without the background music, it doesn't feel the same, right? So I think
True.
music is something which enhances, lifts, takes the movie, takes the scene to the next level.
Yes, absolutely. So, how about the role of publicity for a movie? Do you think it is explicitly required for good movies, or a word of mouth from the audience would suffice?
Publicity is incredibly important to build a buzz around that movie. So good or bad publicity is common, and you just cannot bypass it. Good films may flourish more because of the word of mouth, but as they say, when content is weak, publicity needs to be at its peak. But there's no point publicizing once the film is released, right? You do the marketing, you do the major part of publicity before the release of the film, because once the film is released, there are people who write reviews, and there are channels and papers which say that this movie is a hit or a flop, watchable or not, and all that stuff. So once a movie is released, publicity is not that important. So major part of the publicity happens before the release of the film. And these days, I think the amount of movie that goes into promotional activities is just astronomical. I mean, look at earlier age films where film promotions meant only posters on walls, maybe an advertisement in a local newspaper, or there used to be a vehicle, not a rickshaw, which is decorated with posters of movies going around every nook and corner of the town, announcing the release date of that film. But these days, promotional activities start parallelly with the film shoot. Now we have to constantly keep reminding people that there's something big coming your way. You have to keep that suspense and mystery alive by teasing your audience, by promoting movie related news. So you have to be in news always to be relevant.
Yes. Over the days, along with the cinema, even the promotional activities got the change.
True.
Okay. All right. So, what is the impact of cinema on the society as a whole?
So first of all, I don't think that movies should be made or movies are made to change or influence the society, or I don't even think that every movie should be message oriented or should carry a message that influences the audience. I'm not at all of that opinion. Movies for us audience are like entertainment, and for the filmmakers it's business, right or not? But
Correct.
yes, there are audience who want to emulate their favorite stars from movies. They want to dress like them. They want the same hairstyle like their favorite actor. They want to act like them. They want to carry that swag, whatever. That madness is definitely there. But there are also people who say that films have a bad influence on the society. But we also hear filmmakers saying that this scene or this story is inspired from real lives. So we really don't know. It's like a cock and egg conundrum. We don't know which came first. Is it because of the movies that people are changing, or the stories of movies are being taken from real life? So that is something which that's a never-ending debate which is happening. And but I believe that movies have the power to reflect or show what's happening in the society. But change doesn't come overnight. You watch a movie tonight, and the very next day you don't become a Mahatma Gandhi, nor you become a Dawood Ibrahim, right? That doesn't happen.
Yes. Okay. So lastly, Siddharth, just one message for our listeners with respect to the power of Indian cinema.
So, like I told, Indian film industry is it's one of the oldest industries in the world of films, and it's one of the it's I think is the largest producer of films in terms of quantity every year. And in India, we have almost close to 10,000 screens, and from the Telugu states alone, we have around 2,000 odd 2,500 odd screens. So which amounts to 25% of the total screens in India. And with bounty of talent and immense opportunities with the advent of OTT, this film industry is just going to get bigger and bigger.
Yes, true. Okay. So before we wind up now, let's have a short round of rapid fire round for fun. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Great. So let me tell you before we begin that there is no logic involved in this rapid fire round. You just have to choose only one out of the two options that I give. Of course, you can choose neither or nor.
Sure.
Okay. My first question to you, Siddharth, in this rapid fire round:
Yeah.
Bollywood or Hollywood?
uh, Bollywood definitely. I don't really watch much of English movies.
Great. Same here. High five. Okay. Hero or villain?
mm, he- villain. I think it's villain because the greater the villain, the stronger the villain. That's when the hero has a bigger hand, right?
Yes, correct. In fact, that's how Rajamouli
Yeah,
movies
yeah.
are portrayed. Okay, and of course, the days have changed. Now people started liking villains more than heroes. Okay, the Chiranjeevi or Nagarjuna?
Chiranjeevi any day.
Okay, Kajal or Samantha?
Neither or both maybe. Like both. Yeah, Kajal is happily married. Samantha is happily divorced. So yeah, both.
Okay, first show or second show?
Back to back shows.
Okay, this was never expected. Okay, Taman or Devisri Prasad?
Dude, I like more. I like songs which are melodious, mellifluous. So I'll choose A.R. Rahman over Thaman and Devasi Prasad because these guys are too loud, and I can't
Hmm,
stand loud music. Yeah.
great. Puri Jagannath or Trivikram?
I think Trivikram. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Actor or director?
Like I
I
already
think I
said,
know that.
director.
Yeah, expected. Okay. Mass or class?
Mm, I think Mass. Because I was recently I recently went to this movie called Dune. After coming to Mexico, I started watching Hollywood movies because they are the only movies which are screened here in theaters. There are no Telugu, Tamil, or Hindi movies which are screened. So one of my friend took me to this movie called Dune, and that was an absolute bummer for me, at least for me, because I did not understand anything. And when I came out, he was saying that you need some class to watch this movie. So I think I don't have that class. So Mass definitely.
Okay. Well, my last question to you, Siddharth, in this rapid fire round, it's my most favorite one. Let's see what you're going to say. Giridhar or Siddharth?
Giridhar, bro. Come on.
Thank you so much, but you would have chosen Siddharth as well, right?
I thought you'd feel bad.
No, bro, nothing like that.
No,
Anyhow,
no, but
thank you so
Giridhar,
much.
like I told you, I really like what you're doing, especially the way you're consistent for the last 1 year. That is really appreciable.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for choosing me. And if you ask me, I would choose Siddharth for the movie reviews.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for being our guest today, Siddharth. And we wish to see you here once again in future.
Uh, thank you so much for having me. I truly enjoyed being on your show. So what we spoke about today is just about trivial stuff, movies and reviews and all that stuff. But I'm looking forward for more interesting and sensible themes on your channel, like you've done earlier. So keep up the good work. You have long way to go, and I wish and hope that you crack up the YouTube soon and be on that top of YouTube influencers list very soon.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you so much for your best wishes. And I will be very happy that day. And I'll be even proud that you are also part of my success.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Once again, thanks a lot, Siddharth, for being with us today.
Super. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed listening to this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll be back next week with another amazing guest. See you.